This Monday Night Football props and NFL recap week 16 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rebet, a new sportsbook available in 45 states. Download Rebet in your app store and use promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $100. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Cox. He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Ah, hello, Sean.
What's happening, Kramer?
Horrible. I mean, actually, a excellent day. That's highlighted by a horrible moment. Two of them, actually.
What was the two horrible moments?
The two legs of my Moneyline parlay. The only two money lines that didn't come in on the favorite side, I believe. Is that correct? Is that an accurate statement?
What statement?
How many Moneyline favorites lost outright today?
Let's see. I can.
This is it's like Jeopardy, except for I asked the question.
Well, the Arizona Cardinals lost. They were a favorite.
So 2 out of 3 were on my card. Okay.
So not great work on the money line favorites.
It wasn't I was right about it being a money line parlay kind of weekend. Just missed.
Yeah, should have had my Colts in there. Kind of a mad day for me. 1-1 with the locks. We are ultimately 2-2-1 on the circa million. That's not that fun. I mean, real Tampa Bay. What are you doing? How are you going to let Michael Penix steal this division away from you? Obviously, very annoyed that the Eagles ended up losing that game. If Jalen Hurts got knocked out of that game.
If you're the Vikings, would you rather have a bye or a road game against Atlanta?
What do you mean?
I'm just weighing the options.
Oh,
win the number 1 seed and get the bye, or get to go on the road and face this Falcons team with Michael Penix as your quarterback.
They didn't look good. I don't know. A lot to get to. Some blowout games. Some interesting kind of matchups. I don't know. What was your? I didn't really have any sort of big takeaways. It's been crazy. I saw a stat since like week 5, favorites have been like 75% straight up, but the dogs are still kind of backdooring. They're just not a lot of them are winning outright unless they're on your money line parlay.
Feel bad for the books. The books must be feeling it. They must be reeling.
No, they usually do well if the favorite wins and doesn't cover, and the underdog doesn't
watch
win.
out for those teasers.
Yeah, I guess if you're playing a lot of teasers, there was some activity to be had there.
I expect the Discord line to be lit up.
Yeah, call in. Always welcome your calls. Put someone in the locker. Maybe I put Mike Evans in the locker. How did we not get Mike Evans a touchdown? What the hell's going on? That was let's just start with that game. I mean, a back and forth affair. Felt like the Bucs had so many chances, and then just like these weird kind of fluky fumbles, and it felt like Cowboys are letting them hang around, and then Baker takes that deep shot to Jalen McMillan, and then he gets picked off somehow. Like McMillan can't come down with the ball, even though it kind of seemed like he had it there. They were it was like a lot of weird kind of fluky turnovers, but the Bucs were like going up and down the field on them offensively. I don't know how he didn't get Mike Evans into the end zone, and then the Bucs defense in general, it has these moments where they look really good, and then just have these moments where they completely collapse. CeeDee Lamb had a good game against them. I can't make heads or tails of why they're what's working about their defense and what's not.
I guess in hindsight, there was always an opportunity at this exact outcome because this Bucs team's all over the place.
Yeah,
but man,
now what are the odds for Bucs to win the division?
they've lost control. They no longer have control.
So they're tied win loss, but obviously Atlanta beat them twice, so they have the tiebreaker.
They need Atlanta to lose either to the Commanders next week on the road, which is definitely losable, or at home against the Panthers week 18. Imagine if that's a win and in scenario for the Falcons.
The NFC South is going to get super interesting. So Bucks get the
and the real quick, the Bucks have Panthers at home next week and Saints at home. So you probably give them the better chance to go 2-0 here with 2 home games.
Dallas got the win 26-24, did not get the cover. Dallas officially eliminated from playoffs. Joining us on the line, Dallas Cowboys super fan, or at least he was last time we talked. I feel like we haven't heard a lot from him this season. Cowboys super fan, Serial. Congrats on your Cowboys getting a nice victory over the Tampa Bay Bucks. How you feeling?
Mediocre. Don't have much to play for after the season ends here, but we got a big game coming up next week.
Yeah, in Philly. And we'll see if Hurts can come back from the concussion, or if you're going to be Cooper Rush, Kenny Pickett dueling back and forth there. What are you one of those guys who roots for your team to lose so you can get a better draft pick, or are you excited? Like, hey, Mike McCarthy closing the season out strong. Chris Collinsworth was on air making a case for Mike McCarthy to keep his job. Do you want Mike McCarthy to be your head coach coming back next year?
Not really. I'll take a better offensive scheme at this point, but I will say it's good to see at least what this defense is capable of when people are in the lineup.
So he's taking small wins.
Okay,
that's good.
So who do you want them to fire Mike McCarthy?
Well, he doesn't have to be fired. He just doesn't have to get extended.
Oh, okay. So they fixed the glitch. It's like, hey, we're just not gonna renew your contract at the end of the year. I didn't realize his contract was up here at the end of the year. Ryan, if you had a guess, will Mike McCarthy be back for the Dallas Cowboys?
No.
Will Dakota Rain Prescott be back for the Dallas Cowboys?
Yes, he has to be.
They're kind of in a pickle with that one.
His contract isn't over next year.
They re-signed him.
No, I know. I'm fucking around.
Oh, I was about to say.
All right. Well, Serial. Any awesome wins? Any horrible losses?
Well, yeah, the Cowboys money line was always a good win for me.
Oh, there you go.
But, wait for next week. I'm sure look ahead lines has already got you guys favored somehow. Wondering what kind of Philly magic you guys are going to work to try to get Hurts back in there, because usually concussions is a couple weeks out there.
Usually it's 1 week, depending on how bad of the concussion. Yeah.
I mean, he looked groggy when he got up.
He did. I did. Yeah. He also tried very hard to put himself back in the game. He put his helmet on and gave the ref a thumbs up, and they wouldn't let him back in the game. Call me old fashioned, but if you put your helmet on and you can give someone a thumbs up in Sean's NFL, you've passed the concussion test.
In some ways, that's the new age, putting your hands up. Like, nope, I didn't commit the penalty.
Oh, giving the thumbs up.
I think some players are really savvy when they get their bell rung, and they know just to kind of like. You could tell he was like, oh shit. Play it cool.
Yeah. It's like getting pulled over and he's like, all right, yeah, here's my plan. I'm able to walk a straight line. Yeah. Passing the concussion test, I have to imagine, is like passing a DUI test on the side of the road. Like Hurts has probably practiced, following a light and stepping 1 foot after the next.
Maybe week 1. By week 18, they're just, all right, I'm going to give you a ride home. Don't do that again.
Yes.
I mean, the real question is this the same time of year last year where the Eagles just kind of collapsed, right? So
it was the same time of year, but it's certainly not a collapse by any means. They played a close game and ended up losing because their quarterback got knocked out of the game. What happened last year was completely different. I don't know if you watched last season, Serial, but completely different Eagles team. This Eagles team is much, much better than last year's team. So
how is it completely different?
How is it completely different? Well,
all you have is a running back. That's it. That's the only thing that's changed. Come on.
No, what are you talking about? Their defense is like one of the best defenses in the league compared to last year. It was a complete disaster.
What players are different?
Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell. I mean, those are 2 huge players right there. And the defensive coordinator was a guy that Matt Patricia. If you watch the Eagles defense now to last year, and you don't understand the difference between Vic Fangio and Matt Patricia, and how that's a huge upgrade for this team, I don't know what you're. I mean, I don't know what you're smoking, Serial.
All right. You're starting to get a little defensive. I can catch a vibe.
22 fourth quarter. I mean, this was a bad look for the defense.
It was not one of their better games for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
How many turnovers did they have, and you still lost that game?
Yeah,
5.
This is like a historic outcome type game. I've been hogging all the history over here this season, but that to have all those turnovers and then to allow that kind of comeback against that kind of offense and that kind of quarterback, I don't know.
Yeah, it was not a good game by the defense, and if Jalen Hurts doesn't get knocked out of the game, I think they win the game. But he did get knocked out, and they didn't lose the game. Commanders outplayed him. So
first time all season, they had the stranglehold figured out. I mean, pretty amazing. Even with the backup quarterback, didn't seem like it would be possible for them to come back on that.
What?
I don't think even with Kenny Pickett in the game, still very, very crazy that they were able to make that comeback with the way this defense has been playing.
Yeah, no, the defense did not play well in the fourth quarter. And Chauncey, if you want to get into this game, thanks for calling in, Serial. Appreciate it. Cowboys still suck. I mean, I think getting CJ ejected out of the game. He had 2 personal fouls that led to an ejection, both for just saying things. I mean, I'm not going to say like the refs cost them the game. I'm not going to be that guy, but in what world is trash talking a personal foul? I mean, the first personal foul he got called for, the guy pushed him in the face, and they didn't call personal fouls on both people. If you want to call offsetting, fine. And then the other one they called, it was just trash talking again. To get thrown out of an NFL game, a division game with playoff implications for trash talking, I have no precedent in my mind. There's never been a guy thrown out of a game without some sort of physical dirty hit involved. Like what? I mean, what's the precedent there? It's crazy to me.
Well, I guess it's just the rule because of that type.
But both personal fouls that counted towards ejection were both just for trash talking.
Well, that's the thing. The issue is that the taunting is considered in the ejection category.
Right, but
that's a problem.
Yeah, that's insane. And I've never, especially on your second one. Okay, fine the first one, but to throw a guy out of the game for talking shit to me is insane. And I hit me up with a reference. I've watched every single NFL game for a long time. I cannot recall in the modern NFL someone getting thrown out of a game for just talking trash.
Maybe after the first one though, dial it back a little bit because one ref is sensitive.
No, it's certainly. Yeah, there's some stuff to clean up. With discipline stuff. So Eagles lose, don't get the cover, 33-36. Kind of a weird game in general. Got off to a hot start. Jalen Hurts gets knocked out of the game. Kenny Pickett, a very Kenny Pickett-y performance where he made a couple throws, had a couple scrambles. I mean, he also hit Devontae Smith for a potential game sealing touchdown, first down situation. And he just dropped it. So, we got to clean that up. Jake Elliott missed a 56-yard field goal. The defense, it inexplicably let up some big plays at inopportune times. But really what started it was, Kenny Pickett turning the ball over, throwing an interception on their own side of the offense, or on their own side of the field. That gave Washington an easy touchdown, and that kind of swung the game. And then people think I'm crazy when I say that Jalen Hurts being out there really helps Saquon Barkley in the running game, because the type of read option stuff they run, it makes it very hard to both shut down Saquon Barkley and still play the QB run. And so Hurts's scrambling ability and running ability opens up a ton of holes for Saquon Barkley. So not having that, I mean, he had an awesome first quarter, had a couple big runs after that, but really the second half he was bottled up because they just loaded the box. Hey, Kenny Pickett beat us, and he did sometimes, but then also he doesn't have tremendous pocket awareness. I think he's a solid backup. It'll be interesting. I assume he's going to be the starter if Hurts can't go. Although Tanner McKee's looked kind of interesting at times in preseason, but I think you would still have to go with Pickett because of the experience.
One thing to note in this game, because it's going to happen in the playoffs, and we're not going to get an explanation. But somehow replay was able to pick up a flag in this game. The expedited replay, which we have no science behind when it decides to swoop down. It's like the drones in New Jersey, Sean. They just show up. But this one, they picked up a roughing the pass. Now, again, it was probably the right call. Kenny Pickett didn't really take the shot.
No, I mean that was the thing.
I understand the expedited replay to overturn something that's overturnable.
That's challenging.
I don't understand this. Like, I'm just going to use my commissioner privileges to change the roster halfway through the 10 a.m. games. Like, you can't do that.
No, it was so Kenny Pickett slid. The defender like jumped over him. From what like live, it looked like he kind of clipped his head. But on the replay, it was clear he didn't. So they initially threw a flag, and then they go, "Yeah, they talked it out, and New York's helping them out with this one. They're going to pick it up." Like, wait, what? Like
can we just get an explanation?
The eye in the sky lawlessness that somehow pops in games, and for the most part, it's like they are kind of getting the calls right. So it's hard to be that against it. It's just the inconsistency of
they're not always
when it decides to pop in and when it doesn't. That's what's annoying as a fan. Yeah. Hey, I love the eye in the sky. Do the eye in the sky for every game, all the games, and get all the calls right. Like, I think everyone would be fine with that, but it's just, oh, hey, the expedited review. Where's the expedited review on some of these? It's
honestly,
insane.
Wouldn't it be easier just to have the cameras? Like you don't even need all the officials on the field. Just have camera angles. Have a room full of people watching the games. Not very hard. I mean, most of this stuff we're able to spot with the TV feed and no assisted replay local to us. So I'm sure a room full of guys dedicated to a game could figure out that, like, obviously they don't want to, because our commissioner likes the drama. It's the same reason we still have the chain gang. I
do like the chain.
We have laser technology. We definitely don't need to do this. But how
are we going to endanger the elderly without being on the chain gang? And then some like 65-year-old guys holding a pole, and then he just gets. We need to create. And if someone's listening, that's a good video editor. Can you create a hype mix of chain gang guys getting lit up? That would be electric. Like, a la Jacked Up back in the day on prime time. We need a Jacked Up segment.
Sync it up to that Ludacris song.
Here comes the boom, and just chain gang guys.
But that's the craziest part, right? We have this multi-billion-dollar organization, teams making millions and millions of dollars. Yet we still find these old volunteers who, honestly, if you've never been on the sideline for a college or NFL football game, the speed at which they're coming at you is almost hard to believe.
Yeah.
And if you're not paying attention, you can see how this could happen.
Think how many
these guys are gonna that's a hip. If one of these guys gets taken out, it's a hip life-changing injury. Why are we doing this?
We need to open up a law firm. Have you or a loved one been injured in an NFL sideline accident? Call 1-800-SGPN-TJ, and we are here to get you the money you deserved. Mistimed from your family, and missed wages because you're volunteering for the NFL. Now you can't walk. All right,
I just don't understand it. It's truly. Well, I mean, just get younger people.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, if the rodeo clowns were old guys, we would like people. There would be activist groups. There would be activist groups saying, "Get these old people off of here. What are we doing?" It's like the Ben Stiller character in Happy Gilmore.
Penny Warnick in the chat saying so many conspiracies with the sky eyes. Right.
Whoa. What? Tell me more.
Have you heard the latest conspiracy theory that the drones in New Jersey are actually new potential NFL drones that would really take the eye in the sky to the next level? That's why they haven't been shut down. Goodell, buddies with the government, and they're trying out some new eyes in the sky. How are drones not officiating NFL games, right? Kind of makes you think.
They're only conspiracy theories because we don't have an answer to them yet, Sean.
Japan saying he would definitely let you and I represent him. All right, so Eagles lose 36-33. still looking good for the number 2 seed, but they need a win in these next 2 at home against Dallas and then at the Giants or a Commanders loss. So knock on wood, we win the NFC East, and we got the call line is open. Officially, I'm going to put Todd Bowles in the locker. How do you lose to the Dallas Cowboys? The Todd Bowles and the ref crew from that Washington game. That was very annoying.
It's a tough one.
Joining us on the line, from the NBA Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, noted New York Giants fan Terrell Furman. What's happening, Terrell?
Yep, what's going on?
It's good, man.
He sounds stoked about the chances of the number 1 pick for the Giants.
Oh
perhaps.
yeah, you guys dump Gatorade now that you?
It's not locked up.
Okay,
it's not locked up.
There are a lot of 3-12 teams.
It's not locked up.
Anthony Richardson could absolutely blow this for us. That is 100% a possibility, but it looks good. It looks well. Not as good for the people that are going to be making the decision of the pick. That doesn't look very good right now, but
Now, Terrell, I'm sure obviously you're like Ryan, weighing your options, number 1 pick overall. Do you guys end up with the Cam Ward, Travis Hunter? If the draft was tomorrow and you were on the clock, Terrell Furman, who do you have the New York Giants selecting?
Oh, it's completely easy. I would ask Joe Shane who he would like to take, and then I would take the other person. Whoever he doesn't name, I would 100%. I'm completely out on this experience, this opportunity, whatever you call this. His son called it, and he said, "Man, you only get this opportunity once." And I hope that he enjoyed the one time that he's going to be the GM for the New York Giants or potentially any organization.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson outdoors in the Meadowland, the swirling winds. You better not mess up and accidentally let him win the game, Ryan. Or sorry, you guys mess up and win the game.
That's true. It worth noting, Terrell, that Bill Parcells did have a 3-12-1 season before winning all those Super Bowls.
Oh, okay.
So sometimes patience is key. Although in this case, I don't agree with patience.
You would. So
I would say this. My evaluation of the system is this. You have a GM that has changed the organization. I really think the biggest problem to firing everyone is that the ownership saw like modern technology get installed and credits that to Joe Shane. That being said, has not really drafted well, has done everything else okay. Coaches have not developed talent well. So it feels like a partnership that maybe you just hit the reset button on. Because if you break it apart and you end up in that weird offset, then come on, what's the point? You're getting a new quarterback next year. Reset the whole thing, I think.
So Joe Shane inherited a playoff team that was quarterbacked by Daniel Jones, and somehow, some way, 3 years later, and as we quote unquote celebrate our 100th season, we have the worst record ever since 1966. We haven't had the number 1 pick since 1965, 1964, somewhere around there. We have not gone winless in the division ever.
So Terrell, 30.
Falcon. He inherited this team and is quarterbacked by Daniel Jones, and somehow 3 years later, Daniel Jones is off the team and we're worse.
Here's
Terrell's having fun watching the whole thing burn down.
Here's the very logical Giants fan angle. You trade down a number of times this year. You sign some quarterback. You allow the Joe Shane and Dable to stick around one more year. And you acquire enough draft equity to then be able to secure Arch Manning, the next in the Manning lineage.
We can't even do that this year. And it's all Joe Shane's fault, because now anytime that we sitting there and we're looking at a quarterback, you're going to think about how the guy before you, because he's going to be fired by this point. So you're going to think about how the guy before you didn't take a quarterback, and then he watched that same quarterback walk into the building and give them a 34-0 as the guy they did end up signing for that one bridge year to be a backup quarterback was in the game and threw 2 touchdowns. We have to take a quarterback at this point.
Yeah, although I mean, you can't credit the victory to Michael Penix. He looked not good.
I would say that
it doesn't matter. He is the quarterback of a team that beat you 34-0, and the guy you signed through 2 pick sixes.
Well, they weren't, and it's not like that Falcons team was good until they played the Giants.
Oh yeah, but I would contend that if to Terrell's point, if Drew Lock isn't throwing multiple pick sixes and shattering the game in the first half, we'll see.
We still lose the game, and we probably still don't cover. It's horrible. This is horrible. This is by far. I mean, I haven't been around for a long
you're young.
time,
You're young.
I haven't seen any team look as bad as this Giants team. This is the worst Giants team I've ever seen.
The Ray, I mean, probably yes, but the Ray Handley years were pretty bad.
Ray Handley taking some strays on the recap show. Didn't see that coming.
Ray must go was chanted. It was like kind of the airplane thing, but for Ray Handley.
So Falcons get the win 34-7. They get the cover. I'm kicking myself for Ryan talking me into the Giants and me allowing him to. They wanted no part of this game. Michael Penix, I thought 18 for 27, 202.
Under the passing yards total.
Under the passing
Very
yards.
Easy. Mortal lock.
Did throw a pick that was tipped. I thought he looked like fine. I didn't really have any big takeaways. There were times where he looked a little rough, and then a couple plays where it's like, oh, that was a nice throw, but I didn't think he looked. There were no moments where I was like, oh wow, he's awesome, or wow, he sucks. I didn't really get much out of the experience of watching.
There wasn't many moments at all, but he looked like a quarterback that just was making his first start against a bad team.
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, that's what it was. A quarterback making his first start against a bad team.
I'd also point out he looks very unathletic relative to the other rookie quarterbacks.
And Trevor pointing out that interception should have gone to Kyle Pitts. So Kyle Pitts, I was so optimistic that our boy Kyle Pitts would Ryan finally bloom.
No, you can't say that. He plays on the team, Sean. That's it. It's in the range of outcomes that you're going to throw a pass to him and he's going to bobble it because that's what he does. I nailed him so hard.
Kyle Pitts with a 1 for 7.
Do you when he was one of my greatest draft takes ever? I wouldn't draft Kyle Pitts in the first round.
Ryan did not said he was not a gold jacket guy. Terrell, you have any plays for Monday night?
Monday night, yeah, we can get into this. I really feel like this is going to be somehow, some way. After watching that Bills game, this is going to be a letdown for the Saints. And not the Saints, but for the Packers. And I don't know how. It really doesn't make any sense. But man, if one thing is for certain, Jordan Love, when he's at the highest of the highs, the mountaintop is all the way there. He's all the way up to the climax of the roller coaster. He's going to come shooting down, man. And it's going to be really bad. And it's going to be really, really inopportune. I just constantly remember how this Giants team has been so bad for the past 2 years, and Jordan Love lost this game. So let's take Jordan Love throw an interception because that's the most Jordan Love thing he could possibly do.
It's even money right now. And fun fact, that Giants victory with Tommy DeVito over Jordan Love last year is the only time Matt LaFleur has lost to a rookie quarterback. He's 11-1.
Paisan Tommy DeVito.
That's amazing.
All right, thanks for calling in, Terrell. Best of luck with the NBA show and everything else. Give him a follow on X at ReallyRel _.
Already, let it ride.
Let it ride. Good to hear from you, Terrell. Hey, if you haven't already signed up, what are you waiting for? MyBookie.ag. Use that promo code SGPN. Get you 100% deposit match up to $1,000 when you use the promo code SGPN. Be honest, you're always looking for more outs, more signups, more. You always want more books access to, and you can access this anywhere in the world. And sign up with our promo code. You help us out. You help yourself out. If you want to take the match, terms and conditions apply, and you get those faster crypto deposits and payouts, faster bet settlement, lightning fast. In game, always very good over at MyBookie.ag. I got to remind myself, I'm horrible at in game. Anytime I bet in game in the NFL, I'm just not good at it. I got to just stick to my.
What game was it today?
I bet a little. It wasn't even that much. It was just I wanted a little bit more action on the afternoon slate, so I got in on San Francisco, Miami. I bet San Francisco, which was we'll be out in Vegas, and Sean will slide over, be like Sixers plus 18.5 lives, a nice position.
Get out of here.
Yeah, no, live betting never works out for me, but maybe it's awesome for you guys. Give it a whirl. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN, and we're also brought to you by Rebet, the new social sports book. Get a 100% deposit match up to $100 when you use the promo code SGPN, and available in a ton of states. I think it's up to 48 states. So if you're living in the States and you want to give Rebet a whirl, again, toss us a bone and try it out. I think you'll like it. Open up your app store, type Rebet, REBET, and use that promo code SGPN at sign up to get a 100% deposit match up to $100. All right, Kramer, let's get through the rest of the games. Well, any other thoughts on the Giants?
Yeah, I mean, feels like it feels like everyone's going to get fired. Okay. If I had to bet money, that it's going to be one of those situations.
Yeah, I mean they're not playing for him, so I think you got to cut the ties. Broncos 27, Chargers 34. To me, the highlight was that free kick. That free kick was awesome. Of course, the Chargers took advantage, and they were actually the last team in 1976 to successfully use a free kick.
Who do you think could, if there was a NFL rules exam, which do you think there's any other coach? And granted, you can have your like dedicated assistant next to you for the test. Is there anyone that can come close to fucking with Harbaugh's knowledge? Because you know he has a guy like a Connor Stallions of the rule book.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's probably the most like has the most stuff memorized. But to your point, he does seem like a coach that always is prepared.
I mean, he's one of these classic guys who plays the fool. But he understands to like everything's compartmentalized for him, and it's all about football. So you don't think he's going to have a guy whose job is to read the rule book and know everything about the rule. Just like I'm confident Harbaugh has a timeout guy. There is no fucking way Harbaugh isn't being told timeout, take a timeout. So yeah, I think also wild to think of how the 180 I've made on Harbaugh. Used to hate those fucking khakis at Stanford and the Niners.
Well, he's likable now because the Chargers are I still think are like the likable underdog. But if they start dominating the AFC,
no, but I didn't mind him at Michigan. I kind of found it like his charisma is kind of it's almost Jameis.
He's just such a football guy.
It's innocent like and he loves what he does and he's good at it and he's really he's relatively transparent about it. And that one time he got the EKG test, he told everyone he had a fucking young heart. Loved
it. Chiefs 27, Texans 19. What do you want me to say?
Easy money, baby.
Chiefs keep winning. They're back to covering now. Now they're winning and covering.
Mahomes
they probably got a break with the Mahomes. Hey, that was incomplete pass, and then blow to the head versus a fumble. And I say probably because I had money on the Chiefs, and everyone whining and bitching about the Chiefs get all the breaks, the league's out for them. Then you know what? You have to come to terms with the reality you're living in. Stop betting against them. Start betting on them, and then you just feel like, oh my God, this is my lucky day. Like I thought that was a fumble. Turns out it's an incomplete pass, and we get roughing the passer. Your mindset will really change if you just lean in depending on the Chiefs. I'm telling you,
Sean,
stop fighting.
I'm done with, and also this everyone just whining and highlighting the quote unquote luck that this team faces. Do you know what luck is, Sean? It's what you find at the quantity of opportunity and preparation. And I think on some level, there's a element of if you analyze the best teams every year, you know what you'll find? Teams that tend to have a little luck.
Yeah.
And some of that is just, in the NFL, the difference between a playoff team and a not playoff team is that little bit of luck. Maybe it's a win and a half. And so, yeah, when you match that luck with a team that always crescendos, always is better in the playoffs than they are in the regular season. They have Andy Reid as their coach. They have Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback, and they have a defensive coordinator that's not fucking going anywhere.
Yeah,
which is a massive advantage in a league where everyone wants to get a better job. They have continuity,
and somehow they don't have a left tackle, and it doesn't slow them down. I don't,
because Mahomes he's like one of these Peyton Manning like football smart guys where he knows what it is. He's great at faking you out. He's great at looking like a little bitch. He's great at all of this stuff.
For people who like a good narrative, we're idiots for not being all over Patrick Mahomes' first touchdown. In hindsight,
very dumb.
The hero going on his journey. Oh, my ankle, I can't walk, and then scampered 25 yards to get the first touchdown. It's so obvious in hindsight. So obvious.
Must be so.
Did cash the Chiefs, but should have been on Mahomes.
I can only imagine being a Chiefs fan right now was like my high school time rooting for the Yankees, where it just win.
Howard in the chat pointing out water boys calling timeouts. Yeah, there was a hilarious clip of one of the ball boys like. Andy Reid's trying to call a timeout and the official's not noticing. So the ball boy like runs in and like hits the ref and be like, he wants a timeout.
It's a well-run organization.
No, but I mean, whatever. It's just hilarious.
They're allowed to break the rules because they do it so well.
Well, also it is one of those things. I think some of it is perception, right? Where I'm sure if you go back, I'm sure the Jaguars or the Giants, like I'm sure some of these teams get a couple calls, but then the rest of the game they end up sucking. So you don't notice it, right? It's not in a high profile game. It doesn't affect the outcome of the game because you're always looking for an opportunity to take down these mighty Chiefs. Where like your brain isn't working that way.
Find me a top team, and I guarantee we can find something that stands out about that team where people will point to and be like that team, the Giants were lucky. Eli led them on, 13 fourth quarter comeback drives or whatever. They were. You can do that with a lot of these teams, and so yeah. But again, what did we say at the beginning of this year? We're not going to be stupid about it.
Not fighting it.
Just ride it.
Steelers 17, Ravens 34. Yeah, this happens every time where you have a good angle, you're riding it, and then it feels like all of a sudden there's like a light switch, and I don't know what it is. The certain aggregators, certain content people, then everyone knows that. Everyone all of a sudden knows that Lamar's record against the Steelers. Everyone's talking it up. He takes it personally. They get the victory. I mean, again, this was classic Steelers Ravens for a lot of the game, and then Russ with just the horrible fumble running, and then the pick six. Otherwise, this should have been more of a game. Like I don't think the Steelers played that bad. Shout out to the Ravens and certainly Lamar kind of lurking in the MVP discussion. I don't think it's worth the sprinkle because one, I think they are still. You need to win your division to win the MVP. I still think that's going to be a bit of work there for the Ravens. And then two, I do think Bills close it out. Win the next two, and I think he gets the MVP. And Lamar winning it last year, I think they're going to be looking for reasons to give it to Josh Allen. So I think it'll be an easy award for Allen to win. But nice win by the Ravens in the mix now to win the AFC North.
First win since 2019 at home versus Steelers. Second win in the last 10 over the last 5 years. So the Steelers have owned this rivalry, and almost need to. It almost seems fitting that whatever seeds these teams end up, they play each other. That seems like in a perfect world, Steelers are 3, Ravens are 6 or something like that.
And maybe it's
and we get them in the first round.
Yeah,
this broke a streak of, I believe, 8 or 9 games of less than a touchdown. Between the two, this broke a lot of streaks for Harbaugh, taking care of business as a favorite. This really was a streak
Tomlin
buster.
off a loss.
This is the entire craps tables loaded up with money, and that 7 comes out. That's what this is.
Terrell making a case for Lamar, not a big Josh Allen fan, and the odds are closer than I would have thought. Josh Allen -450, Lamar +380. I would just
do this.
I would not. I mean. If you have a Lamar ticket, I think you got to feel better about your chances. But I still think I don't think it's close. I don't think it's as close. You're
right,
as those odds.
But then go look at the stats.
Oh no! To me, the stats won't play a factor.
I agreed, but I was a little surprised. like when I evaluated the numbers, I was a little bit surprised.
And maybe I certainly would not bet it now. Like if you have a Lamar ticket that you got at like double digits, sure, hang on to it. But
I'm with you. I think, like I said, I thought Josh Allen won the award when they lost to the Rams. That was
well, and then beating the Lions, I think, is when he really won it.
Yep.
And yeah, they had a little bit of scare against the Pats, but again, it's a division game. Look at spot. Bengals 24, Browns 6. Anything?
Anything? Another mortal lock. That's what Jerome. I mean, Ford over receptions.
Yes.
Shout out to everyone who hopped on
the prop show over 2.5, and then
really shredded the prop show
from the VSiN show. DTR got up to 49, so he was close to really breaking that ladder open. And he had one called back. Well, he also had an anytime touchdown called back.
I know. I had 50 with the touchdown. So obviously, but we got shortchanged on both legs. But
yeah,
man,
really annoying. But again, this is to be expected. DTR sucks, and that's all you need to know about this game. Looked fine. Honestly, their offense wasn't as good as I thought.
They always struggle against the Browns.
Browns have their number, but Bengals get the win, get the cover. Speaking of win and cover, Detroit Lions laying 6.5. They win. They get the cover 34-17. They had a fun little play of Jared Goff pretending to trip and then hitting Sam Laporta.
So cute.
Did you see that was based on a play where that happened to the Packers? Jordan Love actually tripped and stumbled. Got up and threw it deep to I think it was Tucker Kraft.
It was
Musgrave.
I know what you're talking about.
And that's what they used to draw up the play.
So I mean, again, nice win, right? Good, that they took care of business. They understand what they have to do. They can still claim the first spot in the playoffs despite all the injuries, despite the fact that they have, I think, 2 times as many injury IRs as anyone else in the league. And I mean, my God, this Vikings team, just go away.
Yeah, Vikings.
I need this division winner parlay.
Arizona Cardinals, Ryan. They didn't get the win. They didn't get the cover. They lost. Shout out to the Panthers. Another OT game for the Panthers. This time they win 36-30. They've had a lot of close calls. Finally got that dub. Congrats to you. This Arizona team is rough.
What pick is Chuba Hubbard next year in fantasy?
Well, I don't know.
He's a first rounder, right?
But what about Jonathan Brooks, Ryan? You don't think some fantasy people are going to talk themselves into
maybe I would
Brooks?
wait a little bit more. I'd be like, you know what? You're going to be out another season.
Trey McBride, I saw, was one of the most bet touchdown props. I told you to stay away from that at the price of +115. I mean, one thing if you're getting like 5-1, yeah, but he didn't get in the end zone. Spoiler alert. Kyler, we should have known, Ryan, when Kyler said shit that's pretty cold when they were talking about 35 degrees. Never gonna happen there. What do you do if you're the Cardinals? I feel like Cardinals fans, the fan base is, we were talking to Ryan McKee, Rich Fat Baby. I feel like they're over Kyler, but can you move past Kyler? Like, what do you do here? They're in such a weird spot because they're not completely horrible, but it feels like they're very far away from being like a competitive playoff team.
I think they can. I mean, so all right, he's signed through 2028, if I'm reading this right. But the way the contract is structured, basically they have next year is the last real year in the contract. So maybe he's movable. If the NBA culture is going to take over the NFL and people are going to be shuffling around, I mean, what do you do here? Because on one hand, this was definitely a step forward from last year. If you're building something. On the other hand, Kyler just turned into a rotten piece of fruit, and it's like the Cliff Kingsbury
thing, but it's stuck with Kyler.
Changed. Yeah, nothing's changed.
Shout out to Moneyline Mac from the College Experience. Check out their daily basketball show, the old YouTube.
Oh my
question
God.
For the show: who is better, Kenny Pickett or Daniel Jones? Right.
Wow.
And also, I'm sure it's a coincidence that the Redskins finally get a victory over the Eagles, then all of a sudden Moneyline Max popping his head in.
Oh,
right?
interesting.
Sure, it's unrelated.
You think it's unrelated?
And all those Redskins fans chirping. That's fine. You guys won this one.
I will say,
I pray to the gods of football that we see your candy asses in the playoffs. I pray.
Kenny Pickett did seem to get maybe a little bit more of a lift out of AJ Brown. So
that's just a dumb take.
What do you mean? AJ Brown played great when Kenny Pickett was in the game. I'm not making any macro statements. I was just saying
made a macro
he gave him a little bit of a lift.
You're ignoring Mac's question.
I mean, I think neither quarterback's very
that's not an answer. Kenny Pickett is better than Daniel Jones.
I don't know about that.
So you would take Daniel Jones.
I think Daniel Jones is probably better than Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
Yep.
Debate settled.
Yeah, I mean, a real quick plug for the college basketball experience. If you haven't seen the clip where Noah falls asleep on air,
all timer.
It's fucking hilarious. I laughed out loud on an airplane. I laughed out loud watching it.
It was pretty good. Shout out to Rob who clips some of that stuff. Make sure you check him out. College experience. Indianapolis Colts 38, Tennessee Titans 30.
Classic AFC South game. Goes from a
easy money rocking chair win.
Tennessee up early.
I said it on the
Indy completely rolls them out, and then somehow we're talking about a backdoor.
Kind of, but it
kind of way more than you could have ever imagined.
Right
when it was 31-7 or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. I'm kicking myself for not.
The Titans came back from 31-7. To lose 38-30. That's ridiculous.
Classic Titans. I don't know, Ryan. I don't know what I got to do to get you to stop betting the Titans.
They got to stop looking good on the number. They got to stop looking.
Well, and I'm mad I didn't get on some Jonathan Taylor props. He had 3 touchdowns, God. And part of the reason I like the Colts was I listened to that press game, the post game conference after the Broncos game, and he was just so mad at himself for dropping the ball going in the end zone, and he goes. First time it's ever happened in my career. First time. It'll be the last time. He's like, listen to me now. That will never happen again. I'm like, damn, this guy really wants to. He's dying to kick some ass, and then he did. So shout out to Jonathan Taylor, Anthony Richardson. How many completions, Ryan, did Anthony Richardson have?
Oh, that's a good look up.
They put up 38 points. How many completions did he have?
He definitely went under 16.5 or whatever the number was.
He went under 16.5 attempts. How many completions did he have?
Oh, 7?
7 for 11.
Wow. Always open 7-11. And shout out to host of the Veterans Minimum podcast. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah.
Hit a little 3-player 2-touchdown banger that included Jonathan Taylor, Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson as well, but little 95-1. Hello.
Pink. Nice hit there by Nick.
But yeah, it's annoying because in hindsight, the Jonathan Taylor angle was so obvious.
It was a smash spot.
So obvious.
Rams 19, Jets 9. Ugly game. Rams get the win, get the cover. Yeah, I mean, Jets were like going for it on their own 30-yard line on 4th and 1. They probably could have won this game, but they're the Jets. They find ways to fuck things up, and the Rams again.
Is it a clinch? Are they effectively clinched in the? Did they effectively win the West?
Well, maybe with the
Seahawks lose, Cardinals lose. So they're 2 up on the Cardinals. They're 1 up on the Seahawks.
Yeah, what's their tiebreaker against the Seahawks? I guess I don't know off the top
I'd have
of my
to
head.
dig that up, but yeah, I mean, I would imagine that this is looking pretty. I mean, they play the Cardinals and the Seahawks to close the season, so they'll settle it on the field.
Yeah, so it does feel like.
I mean, shit. Rams as the 4 seed. Sean, if you're the Vikings, would you rather get that bye or play? I guess it won't be the Rams. It'll be the Falcons probably. Oh man, there's gonna be some bad home and NFC playoff games.
Minnesota Vikings 27, Seattle 24. Get the push there. We called it at 3, although there were some late 2.5s. I saw Vikings. If you're on the Vikings, hopefully you got that real back and forth. I mean, we hit the Geno interception ladder that we gave out on VSiN. He had 2.
He should have had 4.
He should have had more.
He should have hit the third leg. I think it was I had the 16-1. I feel like I was both on the right side and on the wrong side in the same game.
Well, it seemed like Vikings are going to cruise. Then Seattle coming back, had the crowd going, kind of a nuts environment, and then Vikings came back, answered, and then closed them out. So it was a fun game, good back and forth. Justin Jefferson had a massive game, 10 for 144 and 2 touchdowns. All my best ball teams, after I got eliminated last week, all those guys that carried me into the best ball playoffs are having massive weeks this next week. So it's frustrating, but yeah, I mean the Vikings, Kevin O'Connell, I think locked up coach of the year here, and they're going to.
Oh my God, yeah,
it's going to be crazy that they're going to win like 13 games. And be going on the road. I mean, they're 13-2 right now, and they're probably going to be going on the road in the playoffs, unless but they do play their line. So,
yep. And Daniel Jones will be on the roster.
Yeah,
on the scout team, playing safety. No news of it when it's happening in Minnesota.
Wait, really? He was?
Yeah, he's not been active. He's
but he's playing safety.
Oh, I assume they're having him do similar things. It's common for that type of thing to in a walkthrough news. I mean, again, it was only breaking news when it aligned with the nice guy narrative that the mainstream media wanted to push with Daniel Jones.
Patriots 21, Bills 24.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
Drake May is young. This is like a Jedi training, like a Padawan.
Well, and I said
Drake May is Josh Allen.
I said Drake May had some nice moments. It would be great if we saw some of those nice moments when the game was competitive and not just in garbage time. And he did. He
got a couple.
He had some. I mean, that first touchdown throw was great. Got him off to a nice 14-0 lead. Had some boneheaded, just like drop the ball in the snap type plays. But they hung around. I mean, really, the game swung on that swing pass to the running back, which ended up being a backwards pass, and then the Bills just fell on the ball in the end zone.
So
got the defensive touchdown there. Josh Allen did not look like an MVP today, and
broken hand.
Well, it seemed like he aggravated his throwing hand too. That was the interesting.
Broken hands.
Yeah. Well, he came in dealing with a broken left hand, and then he aggravated his throwing hand.
Yeah,
so.
He could be in trouble. Which hand is he going to use?
You have to know when
they are laying 10 next week against the Jets right now.
So they're not worried about the potential injury. 49ers 17, Dolphins 29. This was a back and forth game. Again, felt like a game neither team wanted to win. Brock Purdy fell apart late. Brock Turdy, as some call it.
I also missed that they were able to be eliminated in the early window.
Well, because the Commanders won.
Yeah, I missed that outcome, and that once that happens, it's like okay.
But they
played hard.
Yeah,
Debo
they were
was
still playing. Debo's running hard. And now they're gonna have to pay Brock Purdy $60 million. I don't know. I don't know about the future of this 49ers team. Had the 49ers missed their window? I mean, because who knows what version of McCaffrey we get back?
We know the draft over a large sample is mostly luck. They've done well to amass picks, but they've also hit a lot of draft picks. And so you got to think the combination of hitting all these draft picks, hitting a 7th round rookie or a 7th round quarterback, and not getting anything out of it. How quickly can they turn over the roster with paying a guy like Brock Purdy? No fucking clue. This feels like we could be in a spot like when they were with Jimmy G.
Yeah,
where it's like they're just extremely limited from a ceiling perspective, and I would imagine we'll start to see the effects now that we have high priced players all over the field, including the quarterback and the receiver and the receiver.
Paying Ayuk,
yeah, two most expensive players on the field, and they have a high priced defensive line
and then Christian
and a
McCaffrey.
left tackle. Yeah,
it's gonna be crazy. I don't know what they do with this roster. Shout out to
last place team in the division.
Yeah. Oh man, that we should have got down on that. Corbin saying I've been watching you guys for over a year and have never watched live on YouTube.
Hello.
Thank you guys for the over on Ford's receptions as well as Swift receiving yards. Cash to 4-legger with those.
Nice.
Love to hear about some winners. So always send those in. He's a Lions guy, jacked about his Lions.
Saw Derek and the gang up in Chicago.
Circuit crew was up in Chicago.
Tailgating outside. How many guys who own a casino would be tailgating outside before a football game?
Yeah, I mean,
come on, go into a football game outside.
#Legends only.
Jags 14, Raiders 19. Jags had a chance to win it driving. Brenton Strange, who I accidentally called Colton Strange a number of times.
Yep.
He was a part of the offense. Unfortunately, he fumbled, and then they put in Luke Farrell. I don't know, or maybe he got re-injured. I know he was coming in with like a shoulder thing, and he got tackled weird. He also fumbled, so I don't know what it was. But then Luke Farrell got all that check down, sweet check down stuff for Mac Jones. Raiders win the game, mess up their draft pick. Raiders.
As Steph Smalls pointed out on X, Antonio Pierce, once a giant, always a giant, helping out there. I mean, I mean, to your point on the congestion in the draft situation, like you can very easily drop to the, what is it, 6 or 7?
Yeah. So Giants. Shout out to you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Number 1 overall.
I need maybe a medal. I'd like a medal
at 2 and 13, but picks 2 through 6 are all 3 and 12.
Oh man.
And then 7, 8, and 9 are 4 and 11. So, I mean, and some of these teams play each other. It's going to get interesting these last couple of games. And I'm not even gonna look at the tiebreaker, but
Giants are starting Drew Lock. There's 0% chance they're winning any game. So
Giants now lost 10 in a row.
The look on his face when he does something bad is similar to a dog when they just shit all over the place. It's like, exactly what you did, motherfucker. But you're trying to make me feel bad for you and not mad.
Do they need to get a newspaper to train
yes.
Drew Lock? Like whack.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I used to get whacked with stuff in football.
Yeah.
Have they taken whacking stuff out of the game?
Yeah, good whack to the back of the head, maybe. Hey man, don't do that.
Why was Drew Lock not rushing, Ryan? That was the one redeeming thing he had going on.
It was almost like he was trying to get another contract next year, which I got to be honest.
Tyrone Tracy, leading rusher, 7 for 26.
Tyrone Tracy, one of the bright spots on the roster, definitely invited back for next year. A lot of guys will have to come back on a tryout basis. Yeah. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen, Sean, you should include it in the post on the website. But if you haven't seen the Scott Hansen apology,
oh, it's great. Hey guys, just so you know, I love football, but last Sunday I made a mistake. I had a chance to, I decided
be
to use
transparent.
Yeah. And I was tossing and turning, and I made a poor decision. I shouldn't have said commercial free. 7 hours of commercial free football. It's like, you knew, Scott, and you lied to us.
If you cared, you'd give back your salary. You'd give back that game check.
I mean, it does sound like it sounds like who is the announcer?
Tom Brenneman,
when he's like, I used language that I should not have used. Nick Castellanos fly to deep left. Like, I was waiting for the Nick Castellanos fly to deep left.
Scott Hansen, like if I want to meet someone who still likes Scott Hansen.
Never liked him. I was always a Siciliano guy.
Yeah, actually, you know what? If you like Scott Hansen, shoot me a message at Kramer Centric.
Underdog Fantasy. If you haven't signed up, what are you waiting for? Get in on their sweet pick'em. You can win up to 1,000x. And shout out to everyone sending me their streaks. The streaks are super fun.
Oh,
where you just start off with 2 pick'ems and then just keep adding one at a time until you cash out a crazy number. Super fun. Just and great for. Hey, you're watching some NBA regular season. Oh, flip on the old underdog. You're sitting around with your family on Christmas Day. Oh, you got the games on. A little sprinkle on some underdog fantasy. Pick them for the whole family. Get them signed up and get them that deposit match up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you use a promo code SGPN. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN.
I was going to say, I saw you were talking streaks. I could have sworn earlier I received a DM of a winning 11
nice
leg streak for some thousands of dollars. So,
all right, let's change gears here and talk a little Monday Night Football. Saints Packers. What are we doing prop wise, Ryan?
All right, let's start with Jordan Love under 29.5 passing attempts.
Okay, so you think it's going to be a pound the rock type game?
I think
cold weather.
Yeah, I think it's going to be relatively cold. We're not expecting crazy winds, but it will be cold. It sounds like it's going to feel like mid-20s. So the idea that they're maybe a little bit limited in the passing game, and specifically, I think the Saints have to cooperate if this is going to be the kind of game that Jordan loves passing the ball. But I would also say, just in general, if you look at the way they played before the bye, Jordan Love 2 and under, or 2 and 5, the under would have been to 29.5. After the bye, he's not gone over
30 is a lot.
So he's 5-0 to this number under since the break. And I think this is a game where obviously they're projected to be up, leaning on their running game. Josh Jacobs rush props are incredibly high. And so, yeah, Jordan Love goes under the number once again, make it 6 in a row coming out of the bye, under 29.5 pass attempts.
All right, we got let's get Dick Puncher here on the line.
Ooh.
Joining us on the line from somewhere in New Jersey, a huge Packers fan, Dick Puncher. Dick, how you feeling about this game? Are you a little nervous? Because games like these, you can only mess up, right? Like, hey, if you beat the Saints, no one's ever going to be like, hey, awesome win. You're just going to be like, all right, you breathe a sigh of relief, right? What's your mindset going into this Monday night game?
I mean, the fact that Kamara's out and they're on their backup quarterback, they're missing so many other guys, and they're a dome team coming into Lambeau at night in the freezing cold. Like, I'll be shocked if they have it, and the fact that they're eliminated already from the playoffs. Like, what do they have to, like, motivate them to come out into this cold and to actually like really give it the effort that it's going to take for them to beat a very physical run approach from the Packers.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting because one of my props is I do like Josh Jacobs under 89.5 rushing yards. Now, I just think it's going to. He hasn't been super efficient the past 3 games. He's only averaged 3.22 yards per carry, and the Saints are okay at stopping the run. I think they're going to run him a decent amount. I just think he's not going to be crazy efficient. What's your take on 89.5 is just, to me, a crazy high number. I think a lot of people see the same game script as you, but would you take higher or lower on 89.5 rushing yards for Jacobs?
Honestly, I'd probably stay away from that, but as on the whole, not stay away from the under. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we started putting, like, say we get a decent lead.
Yeah,
if we start having like Emmanuel Wilson take more snaps or whatever. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they ease it up. Also, Jacobs, could get work done in the receiving game as well. So, I wouldn't be surprised if the lower hit there. But real quick, before we get deeper into this, I have to acknowledge something. I have to shove someone into a locker over today. I have to shove myself.
Yes.
In a locker.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Guys, I let you down. All right. I let everybody down. I didn't call in with a pregame dick punch today to inspire Mike Evans to score a touchdown, as I virtually always do. I was out doing relationship stuff in New York today. Whatever. I let you guys down. I let SGP Nation down. I let Mike Evans down. Baker. My God.
See, Ryan,
I take full accountability here. This one is on me. I apologize, everyone.
Was the play good?
This is the accountability we need in this country.
Brunch in the city.
I know. Just imagining Dick Puncher cheersing mimosas and being like, "I should be calling in. I should be calling in, firing up the guys about Mike Evans." Honey, what are you thinking about? Mike Evans anytime touchdown.
Thinking about punching nothing. The bookie in the dick.
Yeah, exactly. Dick, Mr. Puncher, what's your favorite prop here for Monday night?
All right. I am a big fan. I know you're also a fan of both of our major tight ends. One of them's been out for most years, but Tucker Kraft, baby. I'm liking Tucker Kraft. There was 1 week, I don't know, must have been 4 or 5. I forget which game it was actually, where I sent out the Tucker Kraft receiving yards ladder. It hit up to pretty high, like 70 plus or whatever. I'm calling for it again in this game. I've got, all right, so 40 plus receiving yards plus 120, 50 plus 205, 60 plus 320, 70 plus 475. Again, he has hit that multiple times. And then give me 90 plus at 11-1.
Woo!
Oh my God!
Does feel like a Tucker Kraft kind of game.
He's out there in the elements? Does Luke Musgrave play? It seems like he's close, but no. What's your handle on this situation?
I think they're gonna save him. I think a lot of these like questionable to come back. I wouldn't be surprised if they even held Jair back, even though he's been practicing. They might hold him back again. I'm not sure.
They're calling him the next David Bakhtiari, Jair Alexander.
He is. I'm fed up at this point. Dude. He just never play. I mean, for whatever, sometimes
he's so
it's
close
legit,
too.
But other times he's practicing in full. Sometimes he's suspended because he's doing stupid stuff. Like he's just hilarious. Always out.
Very funny. All right. Well, Dick, always appreciate you calling in, and best of luck to your Packers.
All right. Thanks, boys. Let it ride.
Let it ride. Love the apology.
Relationships.
And shout out to the chat here. We got Max calling in from Sydney. Cheers from Cindy. Jerome Ford ladder was good gear. Almost to the top rung. Kramer almost makes gridiron a watchable sport. Quote, we're into action, not ad breaks, stoppages here.
No, talking shit on ads.
I like his little.
Sean loves a good ad.
Well, we got to keep the lights on here. I do like the pot shots he's taking at ad breaks. Well, Max, little tip: when you have 8 screens going on at one time, you're never in an ad break or a stoppage. So I would suggest you and your buddies getting together.
Is that a flex?
Yes, it's a flex. We have eight TVs mounted on a wall. I encourage Max to do the same thing, and then you never have a break. That's what's awesome about the NFL when all the games are playing at once.
We're gonna have to and programming. No, we are abbreviated week. So college football Monday, NFL picks Tuesday. But we're gonna have to discuss with Colby his copyright and patent trademark and patent.
God's Eye East he's putting together.
All of a sudden, he disappears to a different side of the country and he's replicating everything. What is he trying to do, Sean?
I don't know what's going on over there in SGPN East. So Josh Jacobs under 89.5 for me. Kramer, what do you got? What's your next prop?
We talked about this. I was very close to putting Josh Jacobs over attempts on the card, but it's insanely high. It's 20.5 plus 110 to the over, but they have gone over in a lot of the blowout games. Got number 2, Spencer Rattler. Sean, rushing yards. Kind of thought you might be on this play. 18.5.
Yeah.
Week 6, he was 4 for 27. Week 7, he was 5 for 34. He had 0 runs against the Chargers. So 18.5 again, the 2 games he actually went for a couple runs, and the way that this Green Bay team plays defense, there'll be the opportunities will present themselves. And I have a feeling Spencer Rattler is not going to calm down his feet in the pocket on the road in Green Bay. No,
it's Monday night. He'll be scampering, and Rhythm actually liked that one too. I didn't put on my list, but
wow.
sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RATHMM. Get over there. Get over at the old Rhythm. Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. And it's a great tool for NFL props, getting you going for the NBA, NHL, or sorry, not NHL, NBA, college basketball. So many picks, so many props. You can build your own models. Anytime I'm firing on NBA regular season, I'm always checking Rhythm before I do that. Highly, highly recommend it. And it's great for props, honestly. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RATHMM. Get you a 7-day free trial today. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. All right. Next up, we got my prop. I think, there's a version where the Saints are going to pass a little bit, at least stat wise. And I think that's interesting to attack in the prop market. I'm going to take Kevin Austin Jr. over 22.5 receiving yards. Now
sounds like a wrestler.
They are incredibly Kevin Austin Jr. off the top ropes. They're incredibly thin at receiver. I like MVS, but he just popped up on the injury report with an illness. So I think he probably goes, but he was questionable as of today. So I don't want to give him out. And if he is out, that makes it even that much a better play for Kevin Austin Jr. Like someone's got to catch some passes here. Now maybe the Packers get up big and they sit back in a zone and they're able to pick apart a little bit here. Or there's a version where maybe they surprise them a little bit and they get off to a decent start. But 22.5 receiving yards for a guy who's going to be out there, I think for like 90% of the snaps is crazy.
So last week he was out there for 75. He was second only to MVS.
Yeah.
Played 2 fewer snaps.
He might be their number 1 receiver and his prop is set at 22.5 receiving yards. That's crazy. Now maybe they end up using the tight ends a lot. I don't know, but I'm going to roll a dice on the rookie here. Kevin Austin Jr. over 22.5 receiving yards.
Oh man. I mean, I tend to agree. Like someone's going to have to get involved.
And that's why, we'll talk about it in the DGen stuff, the first touchdown stuff. Like I think taking a dart throw on some of these New Orleans guys, because it's an NFL game. One of these guys might get a touchdown or 2. So I think whether it's him, Tipton is in that mix there. Dante Pettis. Like I think those are fun dart throws because someone's got to catch a pass for this Saints team. Kramer, what's your third prop?
The Mason Tipton jar. Great,
yes.
Great line from the man in the box. Does it seem like Jaden Reed's been extra quiet lately? Kind of looking at just floating around because I didn't have a ton of strong angles. Like I said, the strongest of angles was they're going to give Josh Jacobs the ball a ton, but Jaden Reed's yards prop is only 44.5. And his catches is 3.5. And so I juggled that around a little bit and said, you know what? They're going to manufacture some stuff to him. Give me the over 3.5 catches for Jaden Daniels. I believe he was 5 catches on 6 targets last week. The Saints struggle against the interior receivers, whether it's the slot or the tight end.
The slot. How's the
slot? Good matchup here. Jaden Reed over 3.5 receptions.
For me, last regular prop here, any quarter to end scoreless at plus 260.
Woo.
Because well, couldn't you just see if this game gets cold and kind of ugly
weather
at times?
Could be shit. Yeah, of course.
Plus 260 for a scoreless quarter. It just seems like there's a couple of ways this could happen. Like a third quarter where Green Bay's running the ball a bunch and then they miss a field goal, bleed some clock. Saints turn it over the other, like a back 2 long drives where you get some turnovers. Plus 260. It just feels like a weird game. So I'm kind of gravitating towards these weird the weird stuff, both on the Saints side, like some dart throw, and then just kind of the under for the I do like the under for the Jacobs. It just feels way too high. Kramer, do you have any? Do you have a ladder going?
All right. So I would play. So it's kind of a cheating, but I would play the interceptions because I do think that Spencer Rattler is going to be forced to throw a lot because they're down in this game.
Okay.
I do think that he's pretty inaccurate with the football, and I think the cold weather is going to affect his ability to throw a clean ball. Guess what his one interception is, Sean? Just guess what he's priced at. In the same day that Michael Penix was priced at minus 105 for an interception somehow. What do you think they have Spencer Rattler at? Don't cheat.
Minus 140.
Minus 140. Seems reasonable. I would have gone a little higher. He's minus 205.
Minus 205.
Minus 205. So we have to get up the ladder. So we'll start at 2 interceptions, Sean. That's 2-1. 3 interceptions plus 750. That's my ladder. Little step ladder.
All right. Here we go. My step ladder. I'm going opposite. Same guy.
What do you mean? You're
positive. Spencer Rattler passing touchdowns. 1 passing touchdown. Just 1. Minus 130.
No.
Ryan, Spencer Rattler.
I'm listening.
Okay. Spencer Rattler to throw 2 passing touchdowns.
Is that 1,000,000 to 1?
What would you price that at?
My true number is 960,000 to 1.
What would you price that at?
All right. So, obviously his number is probably 1.5.
Packers have let up 19.
What was the 1?
One is minus 130.
So
his number is like a half.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. That's
they've let up 19 passing touchdowns this season.
I'm guessing for him to get 2 passing touchdowns, we're probably talking about like a plus 320,
plus 420.
Really?
Yes. How is that not an edge?
That could be an edge. I mean, well, it's because I think the obvious answer is he's not going to throw for 2 touchdowns. But yeah, no, that's a great edge.
All right, sure. If that's how you want to look at it,
that's great theoretical CLV.
Even Dick Puncher says I don't hate 1 passing touchdown for Rattler at minus 130.
Yeah, that's a very affordable price.
If you want to dabble, and again, this is you can find these in a lot of passings. I mean, honestly, we should have been looking at these similar style in the Pats Bills game. Yeah. Now that was a division game, a little bit of different dynamic. You're not a dome team outdoors, but similar like potential letdown spot where you're getting inherently, because the spread is 14, all their pricing engine stuff rewards any sort of positive stuff for the Saints. Pretty big there. First touchdowns for me. Again, I'm just doing the dart throws on the receivers for the Saints. So Kevin Austin Jr. 40-1, Dante Pettis 60-1, Mason Tipton. Let me double check that price. Do you have Mason Tipton on your list?
I got them all right here, Sean. I'll pull them up for it. Mason Tipton, I got. Ooh, interesting. Where'd he go? Is he really? Oh, here we go. 100-1.
100-1.
There's I can give you an inventory. Hold on.
And then Green Bay. I mean, like Tucker Kraft is 10-1. Do I like him first touchdown? Yeah, but 10-1 is a crazy price. I'm just going to play Green Bay defense 37-1. Spencer Rattler is a wild man, Ryan. 37-1 Green Bay defense, and then 3 receivers that I think have a shot in this game: Kevin Austin Jr. 40-1, Dante Pettis 60-1, Mason Tipton 100-1.
Yes, make sure you shop the Tipton 100-1 at FanDuel, 65-1 at DK. Wide range. All right, it's quarterbacks and backup running backs, Sean.
Okay.
We're going to talk. We're doing a little snap count talk real quick because Spencer Rattler is 50-1, which is absolutely absurd. Jordan Love is 28-1. The groin's healthy, I'm told. Sean, do you remember what team Jamal Williams used to play for?
Green Bay. Revenge game.
He's 46-1.
That's pretty interesting because obviously with Kamara out, Kendrick Miller isn't a guy that's going to handle the rock the entire game. Jamal Williams,
don't you remember last year when Jameis made a team decision?
He is a guy they like to get touchdowns. Yeah, I like that.
He's also you can get him as high as 6-1 on the anytime. Woo. So so Jamal Williams is 46-1, and then I was digging around and I know Emmanuel Wilson's like the obvious choice for who is the backup quarterback for Green Bay. But I was also noticing Chris Brooks up to 16% or 16 snaps last week, which equated a larger share than Emmanuel Wilson. Chris Brooks is 30-1.
Okay,
let's go.
Do we call it underdog? What are you doing for underdog, Ryan? 2 entry. Keeping it simple.
I mean, what is the Spencer Rattler touchdown angle seemed pretty interesting.
And even Dick Puncher agreed. So they have it at 0.92x. So which is probably like minus 130. So I'm fine playing the higher. He'll get 1.
Do we like the rushing yards better?
Spencer Rattler rushing yards, 18.5. Yeah, I could do either.
The rushing yards feels like it's gonna happen.
Okay, and then what are we doing on the Green Bay side? I mean, I do like. I don't mind Tucker Kraft receiving yards.
Yeah,
Dick Puncher gave it out.
Yeah, let's do that.
Seems like a man.
Let's do that.
You can trust the cut of his jib.
I don't know. Can we? He was doing relationship stuff instead of calling in.
Of the pregame show,
helping us
get your priorities straight. Dick Puncher.
My God.
Spencer Rattler higher, 18.5 rushing yards. Tucker Kraft higher, 34.5 receiving yards. $100 entry would return you $300 and some bonus cash if you go to underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN. Kramer, let's close it out with,
I'm a degenerate.
What do you got for us?
All right, this is gonna seem a little crazy.
It's fine. That's what I'm here for.
It feels a little all right, so we're gonna go last touchdown, Chris Brooks with Jamal Williams anytime touchdown. Jamal Williams anytime touchdown with Chris Brooks to score the last touchdown. Again, the theory being he gets, instead of Emmanuel Wilson, he gets some of that late season or late game action. Those two things tied together pays you 195 to 1.
What?
Oh my God.
185. It's actually 185 and 69 cents.
For me, it's very simple. Kevin Austin Jr. 1 touchdown. So I'll break it up.
Oh wow, this is
Kevin Austin Jr. 1 touchdown, 650. But the DGen only is Kevin Austin Jr. rookie. You always like the rookies when you're playing massive upside. 2 touchdowns, Ryan. 100 to 1. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
I mean, it's that time of the year too.
There's always, and also if you're the Saints, don't you want to? And who knows? Rizzy's probably not going to be back. But this is when like a random rookie has a breakout game in these last couple of, and certainly there could be like massive garbage time. There's just a number of ways this gets home.
I was just thinking there could be some fun. I wonder how we work the reverse correlation the best in this kind of game.
I love Max from Sydney. He's saying he yelled "Get the stick" when we're talking about the ladder. Of course, the fire truck ladder. And he had some great names saying old rusty 1980s trains were nicknamed the Red Rattlers here before being decommissioned. So nice little maybe we call them the
like
Australian train.
The Red Rattler.
The Red honey. Yeah, I know you've been good. Get out the Red Rattler.
It could also just be a nickname for a person.
I don't remember what happened last night. Found the Red Rattler on the night table. I don't know what we got into last night.
Yeah, it shakes really hard, you know. Who knows why it's red?
Hey, thank you as always, everyone, for tuning in. If you want a 10% off merch Monday, use the promo code Monday at the SGPN store. Hook yourself up with some nice gear. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. And if you were in the college football playoff challenge, make sure to remember to put in your picks. You got a couple days here or almost a full week. And then, rebet SGPN, Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. And schedule for us light week because of Christmas, but we will be doing a college football show Monday, aka tomorrow morning ish, and then 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific, and then similar timed show on Tuesday for the NFL pick. So want to get that one out before Wednesday, and make sure you guys get ready and have a Merry Christmas. But we'll be talking to you on Monday and Tuesday, and of course,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan
Spencer, the Red Rattler.
Kramer. Let it ride.